Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And before we get in it, can I ask that you check if you're still subscribed? YouTube's playing silly buggers again, and it sometimes is unsubscribing. So do please check you're still subscribed and ring the bell. And if you're not subscribed, now's an excellent time to do so. We'll spread the truth. Now, to this video, we have another update on the whole Matheson incident. The inquiry, as many people know, it will be going ahead. But there are calls now to ensure that Matheson himself will not have any input into the final report. Obviously, he'll have to answer the questions and things, but he will not be, they want the assurances he won't be allowed to have a final say of what goes into the report, have an edit facility, if you like. Because otherwise he'd be able to say, oh, that's very good, yeah, but I can't have that bit shown. It'll make me look stupid and things like that. They want it to be fully open and transparent and for the whole truth to come out, not just the edited highlights approved by the likes of Matheson, which I think is the correct procedure. And that also includes whatever they find on his iPad. We don't want that covered up either. But we'll take a look at this, see what's going on, and make sure that he cannot have any editing facilities. Here goes. Now, of course, this inquiry only exists because even the Scottish government realised that it couldn't actually deny reality. They said there was no mechanism for it. He said, oh, I'll put myself forward to, for an investigation, knowing that he probably wouldn't get investigated because the rules weren't there for allowing that to happen. However, much to his immense shock, and I'm sure deep concern, they said, oh, all right then, even though there is no mechanism, we will anyway, because it seems that everyone in Scotland wants this to happen. And so they've launched the inquiry, and questions will be asked, and answers must be given, and there will be a full investigation. And let's hope that it ends up with a court case, and certain parties going to prison. Hopefully for a very long time. And then all those people who've backed him will all of a sudden look very, very dodgy themselves. Anyway, assurance is sought that Michael Matheson won't be able to edit the final report into his £11,000 data roaming claim. This is the fraudulent claim followed up by all the lies, which is why we're having the inquiry. If he'd have just gone day one and sorted it out, wouldn't be a problem. Better still, if he didn't try and put his fraudulent claim in. Better still. Anyway, the Scottish Government's Health Secretary is facing a sleaze probe at Holyrood over his allegedly dodgy expenses claim. Nothing alleged, his absolutely dodgy expenses claim. And Parliament officials have been urged to deal with the scandal urgently. Well, they've put it off for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then eventually they sort of succumb to the pressure. He has yet to succumb to the pressure to resign, but they succumb to the pressure to investigate it, and investigate it they shall. So the Scottish Parliament has been urged to provide a timetable for when its report into Michael Matheson will be published. Well, without a timetable, it's likely to go on forever. They need to have a sort of firm commitment that it will be this, that and the other. We'll get the questions in there, bum, bum, bum. We must have full scrutiny. He must be before that cabinet committee, at least, I think, 2 whole days in front of a committee, forced to answer the questions fully, and that the iPad must be handed over for a full scan, a full forensic investigation. And then just see his face when that happens. We previously told how the SNP minister's £11,000 data roaming bill will be the subject of a sleaze probe into potentially dodgy expenses claims. He is facing a full investigation under the MSP Code of Conduct, and this, of course, is quite worrying for him because he knows he's broken the Code of Conduct. He's lied, if nothing else. If officials found that he broke the rules, he could be referred to the Standards Procedures and Public Appointments Committee, where sanctions include him being suspended from Parliament. If he's punished in this way, it would pile huge pressure on Humza Yousaf to sack him, but not force him to sack him. And I think even if that happened, Humza would still not sack him, because Humza Yousaf has backed him, and to sack him would to show that he's got something wrong. And Humza Yousaf's ego will never let him say that he's got anything wrong. He's got an ego so very large, which makes you wonder what is so small, what he's making up for. Mr. Matheson initially claimed the huge bill, which was racked up on a festive holiday to Morocco, was solely due to parliamentary work, but he later tearfully admitted that his kids had used the iPad without his knowledge to watch Scottish football, so his children were using a government device with confidential government information on it, which and they were doing that in a country that is deemed problematic to the FCO, and therefore what the hell was, first of all, the device doing in that country, out of this country and in that country, and secondly, why was he letting his children access it? And that's before you even take into consideration his terribleness at throwing his children under the bus and blaming them. What a tosser. However, he told journalists days after he allegedly found out about this that the charges were still due to constituency work and not personal use, so he's undoubtedly a liar. It says here that it's led him to being accused of misleading the media, but we don't like the word misleading, we prefer the word lying. It's when he opens his mouth and words come out, and that's when you know he lies. You can hear him speak. The Scottish Tories have written to Holyrood's presiding officer to demand that they set a deadline for when its investigation into Mr. Matheson will be complete, so that we finally get the answers the Health Secretary and the First Minister won't provide. The answers that are demanded by MSPs, by the press, by the people of Scotland, by everybody over this lying fraudster. Chairman Craig Hoy is also seeking clarity on when the report will be published and whether the Health Secretary will be allowed to see a draft version of it and will be able to suggest edits before it is made public. In addition, he wants a parliamentary debate about the scandal and also about all the correspondence between the Parliament and the SNP minister to be published. That, of course, would also be very, very helpful and damaging. Not to me, not to you, not to Craig Hoy, but to Matheson and to the SNP. It would be, horrendous for the truth to come out, don't we think? It's always ever thus, though. The truth and the SNP make strange bedfellows. He did say he was pleased that the Parliament is taking this matter seriously, but that it must conduct the investigation as a matter of urgency. He said, so I'm seeking confirmation on when we can expect it to report its findings. Mr. Hoy added, I've written to the presiding officer requesting this, and because this scandal is about the integrity of the Health Secretary and the First Minister, I guarantee that time will be made for a parliamentary debate on the report. The public need to have confidence in this process, so we also need to know whether or not Mr. Matheson will see a draft version of the report prior to publication, and if he will be allowed to suggest edits to the final version, which of course he must not. He says, I'm also seeking a guarantee that the Parliament will publish all of its correspondence with Michael Matheson over his outrageous expenses claim, because it's clear that he won't. Yeah, of course not. He'll cover up as much as he can, as long as he can. He doesn't want the public to know the truth because, hey, doesn't want the truth at all to come out, especially not the contents of his iPad. He pointed out that both the SNP and the Health Secretary are trying to kick down the can down the road in the hope that this scandal will all blow over, but it cannot be allowed to happen. The Scottish Parliament has been approached for comment, but no comment came. And of course they want this. They want this to go away really quickly because they know that this guy is in deep trouble. They've backed him. They wish they hadn't. If it was day one, Humza Yousaf, if he was a true leader, would have day one kicked him out and said, right, you're fired, you're done. Either resign, I'll give you the benefit you can resign and make it look good, or I fire you. Either way, done. And he didn't do that. And now it's coming back to bite him. Big time. And why? Because he's got a liar and a thief and he's got to try and protect him. And I really do hope that he is only a liar and a thief. I'd hate to think that he does have on that iPad that what we think he's got on that iPad. Because that would mean that some kids maybe have got harmed. So if he's just a liar and a thief, then he can go to prison for being a liar and a thief. But, you know, otherwise he goes to prison for whatever it is on that iPad that he's so reluctant to hand over, that he doesn't want anyone to examine, that he's trying to deny even exists. It was football, honest. Yeah. Don't believe a word that comes out of that lying liar's face. I'm coming up. One of the great things about this story is I don't have to say allegedly. I don't have to say rumour has it. I don't have to say perhaps. Because he's admitted. He's admitted all these things. The problem is, what are they doing about it? What are they going to do about a fraudulent claim? What are they going to do about all the lies? He's got no veracity anymore. He can stand there and he could be doing his job and talking about the NHS or whatever. People don't believe a word he says anymore. He's lost all credibility. He's lost all confidence in his word. Once it's broken forever. The man lies. And so therefore, you can't believe anything from now on. Confidence is gone. The ability for him to perform his job properly has gone. He needs to go. And that's the next thing. He will go. Sooner or later. He's only dragging out the pain, isn't he? Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. This will probably be the last video of the day. Unless something major happens, in which case I'll just do a flash video or something. So enjoy your evening. Enjoy your Monday evening. I am about to go off and do about a million things. Including... No, I can't say in case my wife watches. Shh. Packing. No. My wife may be watching. And so I can't say. Damn it. Till next time. Stay safe. Stay well. Goodbye.